What's up? This is Vivian Green, and you are watching Where You Been on MadameNoire.
I'm on an emotional roller coaster. Loving you ain't nothing healthy.
A lot of people think that I have not done anything since my second album, which dropped in 2005 or 6 or somewhere around there. And I had 2 albums since then, actually. Yeah, one was entitled Beautiful, it's my 3rd album, and then The Green Room, which released in 2012. But they just weren't promoted well. The single choices probably weren't the best, and it just wasn't. They just didn't make any noise, The Beautiful made a little bit of noise, but I think The Green Room made almost like no noise. So but I was still, I still had a record deal. I was still making music, I guess it just didn't work out. Sometimes, and I love both of those albums, by the way. I love those records, I love every one of my albums for different reasons, So I don't think the albums are bad at all. It just didn't work. Sometimes if you don't have the right setup, that can kill an entire record, if you don't have the proper setup. You can't put a single out and then throw the album out. My single, Get Right Back to My Baby, it just released a couple weeks ago.
Get right back to my baby. I get right back to my baby.
So now I have a 5th album coming called Vivid, and it releases August 9th. It's definitely different, but it's not gimmicky or trendy or anything like that. It's still very soulful. And it's still very me. It's just a more fun me, I know people want me to cry for the rest of my life, but it's just not gonna happen. I'm sorry, it's just not. I want the fans to be understanding of that. I want them to want me to be happy. I'm not gonna be crying forever. And we have those first 2 albums for that, and we can always refer to them. I'm a mom, my son's 11, and he has an unknown syndrome. So that would definitely be the main reason why I would take so much time off. I homeschool him. Yeah, I do, since kindergarten, I know. He's in 5th grade now, I know. It's a lot. The first years of his life, the first half of his life, we were in the hospital all the time, all the time. He saw 7 specialists and this surgery and that surgery and, just fighting with doctors, and it was just a lot. So I really took most of the time that I took off to just be a mom and do what I had to do for my son, which was, the most important thing, obviously. But I never stopped performing. I'm always doing a concert here or there, so I never just left completely, But that's why the gaps are that way. So when I was a teenager, I used to sing in this group, and we weren't very good. We sang for this producer in Philly, and when it was over, he was like, "So, you should call me." That producer happened to be best friends with Michael McCary from Boyz II Men. And then that led to a record deal with Rough House Columbia that happened but didn't happen because my parents could not agree on the terms. So that was the first time I was right? So, and then I was able to co-write a song on Boyz II Men's 3rd album called Evolution, called Dear God. That was my first publishing credit ever. So I kind of hung around them for a little bit. And then I met Eric Roberson, who is really, popular now, which I'm so happy about because that's like my brother, and I just love him. And he is the person who, after working with this producer and that producer and that producer, I met Eric and we just really clicked, and he just took me under his wing, and he is the person that really helped me make the demo tape that got me signed to Sony Music. People have definitely considered me neo-soul, press fans, but I never considered myself that. I never felt my music quite fit into that, and I love their neo-soul artists who I love, so it's no diss to anybody. I'm just saying, I've been writing songs since I was 11. My music's always been more like a soul pop thing, has always kind of been my sound. And I think a lot of artists now, like Ledisi or Melanie Fiona or Chrisette Michele, none of which I consider to be neo-soul, but they sing soulful music. Sometimes it has a pop edge, sometimes it has an R&B edge, but it's not quite neo-soul. So I've always felt that I was that, I really don't. I've honestly never been a competitive person. I just never had those competitive urges, just period, as a kid. I just like to do what I like to do, So I've never felt pressure to take my clothes off. Well, I do like to show some skin though. That's just naturally me though. Since my first album, my tummy was always out, you know, like, so I do like fitting clothing, but yeah, I'm never gonna take it all off or anything like that. A woman can have it all if she learns to master balancing, then yes, I think she can. But if she cannot, then it's gonna be hard. Certain things will be a struggle. So if you have a guy who's not in the industry, you know, or even a guy who is, like, there's a balance that goes with it, you know, and with your kids, and there's just, you've been on the road, like, you have to learn how to balance that so you're getting everything you need to get from every arena of your family, you know, your man, your kids, and in return giving that energy and that love back to the people in your life that need it, you know, because you can totally get consumed.